At Monte Carlo, the palace watches serenely over the wealthiest harbor in the world. Each year, in one weekend in May, it becomes even wealthier as the Grand Prix circus arrives. After Spa, Alain Prost had scored 27 Grand Prix wins, equaling the all-time record of Jackie Stewart, whose mark could now be passed this weekend. As Jackie watched qualifying, he was philosophical about the prospect of his record being broken.
Alain Prost at the present time, in my opinion, is the finest Grand Prix driver in the world, probably the finest race driver in the world, and therefore I'm very happy that it's him that's taking it and not someone who I would not have been proud to have it.
In practice, Prost qualified fourth. Good, but not ideal on a track where overtaking is so difficult. Mansell, on the other hand, was in indomitable form. He was clearly the fastest throughout qualifying, forcing the Williams through the streets to end up 3/4 of a second clear of Senna, who was just 4/100ths ahead of Piquet. But just how unforgiving Monaco can be was demonstrated by Gerhard Berger, who let his Ferrari bounce over a curb. But he got away more lightly than Michele Alboreto, as this spectator's video shows. The car Alboreto hit was Christian Danner's Zach speed, as Danner explains to Martin Brundle. And many thought it was unfair when Danner was disqualified from the event because of it. Danner was going slowly, having just left the pits on fresh tires, but the gap Alboreto went for was just too narrow.
Well, it was Mansell versus Senna again, but this time Mansell was determined to do it right. He led from the green light, with Senna, Piquet, Alboreto and Prost in pursuit. As ever, there was plenty of bumping and boring in Saint-Devote on lap 1. But as the tight queue thundered through the narrow streets, up the hill to Casino Square, and then down again towards the harbour, Mansell was already easing away at the front. At the Lowe's hairpin, watch René Arnoux, overtaking down the inside, put paid to teammate Ghinzani's nose fin. To back, and Mansell's lead was bigger, but Senna was settling down in second place, and behind Piquet, Alboreto was looking good. Stefan Johansson was already slowing with a misfire. Rascasse, full bore in bottom gear, but Senna was dropping back. Down from Casino Square and past the tip-top bar, the pattern was set. Mansell, Senna, Piquet, Alboreto, Prost and Cheever in the arrows. At Monaco, the barriers are ever beckoning. Philippe Streff fell into their clutches. He buried his Tyrrell in Armco opposite the Hotel de Paris. He was briefly trapped, but not seriously hurt. But on lap 29, the pattern changed. Mansell slowed. Senna was on his tail. And out of the chicane and along the waterfront, the Lotus went through. Mansell was clearly in trouble. In the pits, the mechanics waited to rush into action, optimistically changing tyres. But Senna was long gone. And Mansell was out of the car, a broken exhaust pipe robbing him of Honda power. Behind Senna, the second-place battle was between Piquet, Alboreto and Prost. Overtaking is never easy at Monaco, and predictably Prost couldn't find a way past the Ferrari, dogging its wheel tracks until Alboreto darted into the pits for his routine tyre stop. The two arrows of Cheever and Warwick were going well, split by Berger's Ferrari. But as Senna reeled off the laps, suddenly both the arrows were out. Warwick's gear linkage had broken, and he walked away. And Cheever, who'd held third place for a while, parked with a blown engine. And Alain Prost, with 3 laps to go, lost a sure third place with serious engine maladies. That 28th victory would not be his yet a while. By By contrast, Senna's Lotus never missed a beat. On his final lap, even before the checkered flag, he was accepting applause from the marshals. Following him home in a fine 5th place was Jonathan Palmer, non-turbo category winner. There was delight in the Lotus pit as Ayrton scored the first win for active suspension. Nelson Piquet was an unchallenged second, but thanks to Mansell's misfortune, the day belonged to Ayrton Senna, and for the first time there were 2 non-turbos in the top 6.
Senna was a happy man. In Monte Carlo, you're not supposed to spray the princely family with champagne. It smacks of Drench majesty. And Peter Ward tried to act as a shield, so the frustrated Ayrton turned his attention onto a policeman, among others.